In a shock to nobody, Victor Wembanyama is a lot taller than they list him at. In a shock to nobody. Which, you might be saying, oh, he's been listed 7'3". I've been calling him 7'7" for the last year. He didn't just grow this summer. They're listing him at 7'5" now. I've always said, even when he was listed at 7'4", I said Victor Wembanyama at 7'4" is the biggest lie in the NBA. Because he is that much taller than Rudy Gobert. He towered over Gobert. He's taller than Zach Edey. Even Boban, who's 7'4", who's 7'3 3/4 without shoes, who's listed as the same height as Wembanyama without shoes, played against rookie Wembanyama, and he's like, I'm looking up at Victor Wembanyama like, no way. I've always said this. Victor Wembanyama is the tallest player in NBA history. He is 7'7" minimum. And that is 7'7" in today's measurements. Not old measurements where they just lied. Like Yao Ming was probably closer to 7'4", listed at 7'6". I think Victor Wembanyama is probably the tallest player in NBA history. And he also is getting bigger, stronger, and playing bully ball, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in another video. But I don't think people like understand the whole thing we're seeing with Victor Wembanyama. I don't think people understand that we will never see this again. Like, we could all have some weird. We could split our body into 17 Horcruxes and never die. And we probably will never see another Victor Wembanyama again. Like, this is not a once-in-a-generation player. This is not a once-in-a-lifetime type player. This is a once-in-the-history-of-humanity type player. Like, I wonder how many years of evolution it's going to be before people... Like, by the time we see people evolve to this extent that you can get that there's another 7'7" guy that moves like Victor Wembanyama. By the time we see that, like, we will all have been dead hundreds of years. And that is a maybe. If Victor Wembanyama stays healthy, he's going to be the greatest player to ever play the sport of basketball by a decent amount. And that is not a knock on Michael Jordan. That is not a knock on LeBron James. He's not going to win the same amount of rings. We are now witnessing a player that our kids will not believe was real, even though there's video footage. People are going to believe in 30 years' time, when we are talking to our kids, people are legitimately going to be talking about how Victor Wembanyama wasn't actually real and it was AI. Like, he is 100 times more athletic and more coordinated Ralph Sampson. And up to this point, Ralph Sampson was basically a video game character. Like, Ralph Sampson was a video game character. Like, that man he was Wemby before Wemby. But, I mean this when I say this, not even in the stratosphere. They're not even in the same stratosphere as and I know you might be saying, oh, eras this, eras that. No. Wemby's way bigger than Ralph was. Like, Wemby's probably 7'7", legit 7'7", which is NBA listing, with shoes and everything, 7'8", 7'9". He's mobile. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid, and he's getting bigger. This man is going to be the best ever. And I cannot wait until he shoots 50, 40, 90 and has Stephen A, has dumbasses saying he needs to get in the paint. It's the year 2025. Like, the one place he's guardable is in the paint. Because if he's in the paint, you can kind of use the fact that he's not, like, He's not the strongest player in the world. And you can always use the fact that he's 7'7" and go with a low base at him to keep him out of the paint. Like, the only place where he is guardable is in the paint. Realistically, the only place where he's guardable is in there. So I don't understand why people be shoving him in there. Yeah, play there occasionally. But Victor Wembanyama, at least now there's no more bullshit lying that the man isn't what he is. Like, and what he is a 7'7", like, freaking demigod. He is. Like, it's as simple as that. The man is something that you could not... He is, when you were a kid, you couldn't even do this in NBA 2K. If you wanted to get a random player, as in a creative player, to 7'7", you had to go back in the day, the NBA Live days, when I used to create 7'7", 99 all stats, everything, Mick Curley, and I would go out and dominate an NBA Live 2008 on my old Xbox 360. Yeah, 11-year-old Mick used to go and do that. But you got so many people. He's grown in his 20s. I don't think he's grown in his 20s. He was always the height. He towered over Zach Edey in 2021. Like, the man literally is most people to do this are on their tippy toes. Nah. Wemby, nah. Like, it's actually just ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. We have never seen anything like this, and we will never see anything like this. Like, I went to see the guy play in France, and I was nowhere near I was nowhere near the court, and I could still see. I walked down to kind of court level in Roland Garros, and I'm like, holy shit. My reaction was, holy shit. Like, how is this a real human being? And yeah, that is one of those things that Victor is just, we're never going to see this again. And look, there is a good chance that at some stage the man goes and gets injured and doesn't have the career that we expect him to have. But that being said, that is the only argument for you not saying Wemby has GOAT potential. Like, I think he could be the MVP this year. I think he legitimately could be the MVP this year. And then with Luke Cornet beside him, he can play the 4. That's all I gotta say. Like, he can now play the 4. He's going to be scary, man. He's going to be so scary.